Welcome to the Camperdan Files. My name is Chris, and in today's video we are going to complete some much needed work on my 2001 R50 Pathfinder. Mainly the front CV axles. They're torn. You guys might have seen this in a recent video that I posted, replacing the front load control arms. If this is your first time and you like this kind of content, go ahead and click that subscribe button, as I have a lot more fun and interesting content on the way, and more importantly, content that is going to help you, especially if you're a new or first time owner of one of these rigs. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, here are the CV axles in question that we're going to be utilizing. We scored these off of a 1998 R50 Pathfinder, automatic four-wheel drive. I'm not sure if these are OEM or aftermarket CV axles, but they are brand spanking new, guys. I mean, just look at the rubber. They are as fresh as can be. And we're gonna go ahead and start getting things taken apart. The procedure is really not that difficult. What we're gonna start by doing is obviously getting the truck jacked up, get both the front wheels off, and then what we're gonna do is remove the ball joint from the lower control arm, so that way we can pivot the lower control arm downward. We're also going to need to remove the face of our manual locking hubs, so we can get to the cert clip or C clip for the end of each one of the axles. And then there should be a few 10 or 12 millimeter bolts that will hold the inner CV axle onto the front differential. And once we get those removed, we can then go ahead and remove the old axles, and then reinsert the replacement axles in their place. So let's get it. I guess I can officially say that I'm a shade tree mechanic today, as we're parked in front of the tree here in my front yard, and it's definitely providing some shade. I'm not going to bring you guys super close for this part of the video, simply because it is hotter than Hades out here, and I'm trying to keep my camera cool. But I'll bring you guys in for the more important details, of course. All right, so we now have the R50 firmly secured on our jack stands. And one of the things that I like is those safety pins there. See it protruding out the side of the jack stand. That's just in case things start moving. This will actually catch it and keep the vehicle from potentially falling on you and crushing you. We're gonna start by removing the passenger side front wheel. We're gonna work on this side first since it's in the shade. Also guys, while we have things apart, we decided to throw 2 more cam alignment bolts at the strut assembly. We already had 2 of these, this particular brand for the top. We're gonna go ahead and put them at the bottom as well, so we can do any and everything that we can to get this rig aligned correctly. I'll be sure to put a link in the description where you can find these. You get 2 per order, and they're made of aluminum, but more importantly, you want to make sure that your alignment guy tightens this nut really good, because they are prone to backing off, and I suppose it wouldn't hurt to use some Loctite. Here's our CV boot, guys. You can see the inner boot is severely torn. There's nothing left of it. We do have our 3/8 attachment in place here. I'm gonna go ahead and take our screwdriver here. I'm gonna stick it into the air vents for our rotor, and we're gonna go ahead and try and get this guy off. Hopefully you guys will still be able to see what's going on there, but just understand there's limited working room in here. We might have jumped the gun here. So because our faceplate for our manual locking hubs aren't on, that means that the CV axle is going to move independent of the hub assembly. So let me go ahead and put it back on. And what's my secondary favorite saying, guys? You got to go slow to go fast, right? So we're trying to skip ahead there and try to, I guess you could say, get all of our ducks in a row. But instead of doing that, what it actually did for us was slow us down and set us back a little bit, because we have to undo what we did already. The good thing is it's simple. Now it won't and shouldn't move. Yep, got him, coach. So that one's now loose. So right now what I want to do is go around, and I'm gonna essentially just loosen up each one of these. Yeah, they'll definitely come out. You just want to be mindful of your ABS cable here. It's not that big a deal. You just got to take your time, that's all. And you definitely want to do this job one side at a time.
your hub assembly is going to spin at the same time with your axle. So just stick a screwdriver into your rotor vents and nest it against your caliper, and that should definitely hold things in place for you. And this is probably the hardest aspect of this repair, is just getting those inner bolts off. Once you get those off, then from there we're going to go ahead and separate the ball joint from the lower control arm, and of course take the hub assembly back off and then get our circuit clip removed. But yeah, for this you're going to need a 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 breaker bar, and some 3/8 extensions. I sincerely hope that you guys are able to see everything. But the good news is you're not going to have to sit through both sides of this. I just wanted to show you guys the passenger side since I'm on the sidewalk. The sun is out right now. It's really hot, and I'd rather not have my camera in the middle of the road. So this is all you guys are going to see in terms of carrying out this repair. Hopefully it's enough to help you to gain some insight and to muster up some courage to do this yourself. I believe my local shop wanted like $350 a side to do this job. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you know, shops gotta make money. That's why I try to do as much as I can on my rig and the bigger jobs that are outside of my skill set, or maybe I just don't have the time or the tools. I gladly pass it on to them guys. You know, I'm not here to bash the shops because they have huge overheads. They gotta charge you. That's just one of the aspects of running the shop. You gotta make money. So that's free. Move our ABS wire back into place here. Sure, we'll have to move it again. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the face of manual locking hub here. So glad I'm getting this done, guys, because it's been 2 weeks now since I've secured these replacement CV axle. So tomorrow I'll be able to take my original CV axles and turn them in and get my $20 core back. I'm excited about that. And then I have some scouring to do in the junkyard. You guys will see that in the future video. But there were a couple of R50s that came in about 2 or 3 days ago. So now, once we get the ball joint removed, the CV axle, the inner portion of it, we're gonna remove it and come towards the rear of the vehicle and then slide it out of the hub assembly here. We're gonna get our cert clip removal tool, and then we'll get our impact so we can separate that ball joint. So we have a cert clip removal tool. Got our cert clip. Yes, I'm laying down. You can now take the support bracket out. You're going to pivot your ball joint to the side there, and your control arm is going to go downward like so. And when it goes down, you're going to take your CV axle, you're going to flex it and move it towards the back of the rig here. And now, yep, there perfect. One CV axle removed. Now, before we place the replacement CV axle in place, I just want to do some comparison on this. I guess these are going to be aftermarket. Yeah, these are aftermarket. See how they're just round? Yeah. This portion of it looks the same though. This side. And of course back there. Yeah, so we'll grab one and we'll get it chucked in here. I did do some homework on Rock Auto and on Empora alike, and these axles are going to be the same across all R50 generations. 1996 through 1999, of course your 99 and a half, 2001 to 2002, and in 2003 to 2004. Essentially, they're all the same. They're all identical. The only difference is going to be whether it's OEM versus aftermarket. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn our wheel straight again. All in all, guys, not too bad of a repair. Like I said, we're saving $700 by doing this ourselves. If that's not motivation enough for you, I don't know what is. I know it is for me. Because that money that I'm not gonna have to spend in my local repair shop, I can use it to do other things for the R50. We don't have any blue Loctite on here, so we're just gonna jam these back in here. I know you guys are probably gonna have some negative comments about that, but like I told you in my last repair video, if this is your rig and you're working on it, you do what you want. Since it's my rig and I'm the one that's working on it, I'm gonna do what I want. Really and truly, I would have gone to the parts store and gotten some Loctite, but this is the only vehicle that I have access to today. So yeah, there's that. Am I gonna come back in here and put blue Loctite back on those bolts? Probably not. Unless I happen to have to take this thing apart again. Which I don't really foresee that happening, but you never know. Come on. Binding or they're just not going, don't keep turning and tightening them. Back them out and take a secondary look and make sure that they're being seated correctly. Just trust me, you don't want to have to come back in here again because you went in here like He-Man and started tightening things and didn't make sure that they were seated correctly. Just take your time. Oh, these bolts are also,
They're gonna have this washer here at the bottom. So if you notice that you don't see that washer,
just don't put it in by itself because you may cause issues doing that. So what I'm doing right now is just taking my time and going around and running them all down slowly, but more importantly making sure that they're going on evenly. Yeah, I wish I'd done this sooner, but the reason why I didn't do it until now is because I haven't been able to find CV axles that weren't torn. These boots are practically brand new. This is a situation where going to the junkyard and using the junkyard part actually paid off. Because usually you go to the junkyard and see these things are all torn up already. I was quite surprised and delighted to find these on that 98 R50. And even more so because they're a direct swap. Like I said, there's no difference in the CV axles throughout the generations except whether or not, you know, it's OEM or aftermarket. And then the different brands. So here in a minute, we're going to reinsert our cert clip here on the hub side of the CV axle. We're going to get our manual locking hub face back on. We're going to lock the hub so that way we can tighten up these bolts. I got them all ran down flush. Again, we started things by hand. I don't have the proper torque wrench to get in here. I don't know the torque specs, but if you do, just kindly put them in the comments. That way I can see them and so will everybody else. Yes, I was hoping to have this repair done earlier today, but I had to go downtown and attend to some business. So this was the only time that I had available to do this repair. I'm happy to be getting it done, regardless of how late in the day it is. And the plan is, now that I got the secondary cam alignment bolts in on the bottom of the strut assemblies, I'm probably going to take this thing in for a alignment tomorrow. That way I can stop doing possible damage to my Falcon Wild Peaks. They're only about 1.5 years old, so I'm trying to safeguard my $1,200 investment. But they have been working well for me. I haven't had any complaints. They ride really nice. It's a really nice set of all-season tires. And they're heavily used in the off-roading community, not just in the R50 world, but just off-roading in general. So they've been tried and tested. Although, I'm gonna be honest, I almost went with a BF Goodwrench. The only reason why I didn't go with them is because the Falcon Wild Peak was slightly cheaper. Only a few dollars. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe when it's time to replace my tires, maybe I'll try those next. Now I have this in a lock position. We're gonna go ahead and tighten up the in the bolts there. And just make sure that our rotor doesn't move. Nice and tight. Back a little bit, jam that in there. Yeah, all in all, not a bad repair. More to go. Yeah, I was afraid of doing this myself because I was worried about these bolts on the inner CV possibly being rusted, stuck, or worse, you know, going and touching them and then they decide to snap. But no, a little bit of WD-40 and a little bit of courage goes a long way. Like I said, you can save yourself a couple $100 by doing this yourself. All right, gotta do her. So yeah, guys, there you have it. Everything's in there, just like it's supposed to be. Again, not that big a deal. So now we're just starting our fasteners back in by hand here for the ball joint. We'll run these down with our impact and then we can get our wheel back on. So he's all done, guys. And on a moment too soon, my wife literally just pulled up from work. Yeah. Now tomorrow we could take this thing to go get a wheel alignment after we drop off our old busted CV axles. Yeah, looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower, and I got some parts I gotta drop off. I've been selling parts like no tomorrow.
I actually have 3 items packed up, ready for shipping, and I still have another 3 more to get packaged. So 6 shipments in total, 2 of which came in today. One first thing this morning when I woke up, and another a few hours ago while I was still plugging away working on this thing. So let me go get fresh, and then I'm gonna go and take this thing for a shakedown. If you found today's video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. And while you're at it, don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe. Once again, my name is Chris, and this has been the Camper Dan Files. And until next time, keep using your Pathfinder as a Pathfinder, on or off the pavement.